I want to talk about perspective switches, and just kind of how they feel and what we can do to continue to keep them coming. I had a profound experience with a perspective switch the last couple of days, and so it dawned on me that maybe talking about it and telling you guys how it's like where I see it and where I feel it, and then what it feels like can kind of help you be aware of when it happens for you on your journey and help you in some way. So let me think here. Where do I want to start with this perspective switch? So a lot of times, okay, so when we're on our spiritual journey, when we first start out, there's a lot of veils coming down, a lot of new ideas and concepts. And if you're going to keep that spiritual progress going, you need to continually to keep that stuff around you, because we've got to get that in our minds, we've got to get it into our system, we've got to get it into our bodies, get it into our way of living, get it into our system of trying and using and seeing them, the processes and ideas, and just, encompassing it. And so through that, you'll hear these ideas and concepts and you'll say, okay, but you don't really understand some of them until you do certain things or you've made certain progress, and then you're like, oh, wow, okay, so when they said this, I really understand it now. And that's what I've kind of really come to realize here is a lot of concepts and things I've tried, and I'm like, okay, I believe this, I'm gonna try this, I feel it, like it feels good, but until that perspective switch hits, you don't really encompass the full importance and feeling of its energy till it hits you, that aha moment. It's kind of like you're going along, mind your own business, and then all of a sudden you either have an aha moment or just like this feeling comes over you, like this veil has been swept across your face and thrown one idea out the window and completely created a new one. That's the best way I can describe it. And so what's really been helping me do that is I'm all for shamanic journeying. I love shamanic journeying. I will use that till my dying days. Shamanic journeying helps self-empower us. It's a great form of meditation, helps with visualizations, helps us go in and do some healing, helps us meet people, learn information. But when you're learning and teaching yourself how to quiet the mind, to sync up your heart, your mind, and your body, when you want to clear out old programming, old energies, sometimes we need the silence. And I, for the longest time, was going to avoid that. I'm like, nope, I don't need the breathing crap. I don't need the silent stuff. I will use my overactive imagination and my productive mind to do shamanic journeying all the time. I don't need anything else. And it's not necessarily true. Through my loss that I had 2 months ago, something happened big. I let go of control, and I started having this different relationship with the universe. Trusting in it more, believing in it more, surrendering to it more, and being open to things that I wasn't before. And so through that, I've been really working on paying attention to my energy, how it feels, what's triggering it, how I can quiet my mind, how my mind is making my energy do things. And through that path, I was led to doing a meditation that was about breathing and being quiet. And then part of the meditation too is focusing on space, just imagining the space above your head. So it's all about focus, quiet, breathing. And so right away, the first meditation I did was like, it took a layer of the onion off in a way that it kind of blew my mind, because Just having that one meditation of 25 minutes of quiet, working on focusing, letting my thoughts go by and not giving them energy, did something for the connection here, the head, the heart, and the body. I've been listening to a lot of Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he's really where I got a lot of movement with some of my other spiritual progress a couple years ago, and here I am coming back to him. And so he explains a lot of things scientifically that make them really simple. I'm really more intuitive, but it's nice to have the intuitive going along with some of the scientific stuff. But anyways, that's not my point. My point is how much impact silencing your mind and focusing on your breathing in a 25-minute meditation could be. Because it gets us aligned. And so that's what's really been speeding up my perspective change, because the more I can go inward, quiet myself, and let these align, the more the aha moments are coming, because they're aligned. My heart is going with my mind and my body, and they're like, okay, we can go together on this. Let's do this. And so I think it's maybe been a week since I've been doing that meditation, maybe 2. But that is one of the main things I've been doing for the perspective switch. Breathing, focusing on my breathing. When I notice that something's giving me anxiety, when one of my thoughts is giving me anxiety, I use my focus on my heart image and my affirmation. And I've also been focusing on space. And I find the more I do the meditation and quiet my mind and focus on my breathing, the more easier it is to focus. I've been a person where my focus has been like this. And having that focus to finally narrow down to get really focused is one of the most amazing perspective changes I've had. Because it lets us know what's really important. We give what's really important that attention. We're not wasting time, jumping around as much. What else has really helped me with this is talking to the universe and saying every day, I surrender to you, I let go. And asking questions every day, because when you ask questions, you get the answers. And that's part of the aha moment too. If you're struggling in that moment, you can say, I surrender. Please show me this perspective. Please show me how I can do this. Please show me a sign. I asked the universe to help me when I was weak in a spot, and I asked it to show me a sign, and I got a sign on my T. There's a little card on it, and it had a little affirmation on it, and I looked at it, and it related to what I asked it, and it just was confirmation for me that when I ask, I get what I asked for. So pay attention to those perspective shifts, because they're huge. And when you have those, you start affirming things that you have already been focusing on. It helps strengthen your faith in yourself, the belief, whatever you're working on to strengthen. It helps that. It helps the self-love, because it's taking those layers off and seeing how things can really be in a new way. You're pushing past your limited beliefs, limited energy, to ask the universe for questions and answers and help it lead you somewhere. And you're trusting in it. When you trust in the universe, you're trusting yourself. When you're trusting yourself, you trust in the universe. So seeing these perspective changes is really big, because observing them will help you realize where the asking has helped you and where you are receiving it. Because you can ask questions or ask for help for the universe, but if you're not paying attention to when you receive it, then you might not be getting that acknowledgement from the universe, and so you might not trust it as much. So those are the main things I really want to talk about, the perspective shift, really. Let's see, is there anything else I want to add to that? Oh, also, what the meditations really helped me do is trusting in the things that I'm doing. You know, I know that we hear these ideas of trusting the journey, enjoying the journey, and not necessarily the destination. And that perspective has been a struggle for me, because of this just hurry up, let's get it done mentality or belief system that I've had that I'm starting to let go of. But slowing down and continually keeping my focus on what I want and putting my faith there, and it is showing me that it's going to be okay. Each step is taking me where I want to go, and believe in each step. The Facebook ad I just released over a week ago now, that's been the hugest perspective shift that I've had. Because, you know, working up to them like, oh yes, this is going to work. I'm going to make progress here. And seeing it make progress, even just getting a like, I was grateful for that. I was grateful for that like. And it was just one. It was nowhere near what I want it to be, but I have to acknowledge that that's a starting point to getting me where I want to go. That's a step in the right direction. And that's what really made me have a lot of faith in my Facebook ad. And when you have faith in what you're doing, it happens. And after I saw that perspective for myself and felt that, the next day I had a couple comments. So then I was like, ooh, this is getting exciting. And then I've got a couple more likes. And so it just keeps on building on itself. And I keep telling myself, you know, this is how it begins. You start with barely anything and you keep building on it and building on it, building, and pretty soon you're like, ah, look, I'm right here. So perspective switching, perspective changing, pay attention to it so you can acknowledge yourself, your progress, the trust in yourself, trust in your universe, and knowing that you're making steps forward. All right, thank you so much for tuning in. I love you guys so much. Have a beautiful night.